Hi there, and thanks for joining me for this week's edition of your Wheel and Anchor weekly newsletter. We've gotten a lot of feedback from our LiveAway programs, and so I finally managed to pull together a few little video clips from what our members felt about these trips in Madeira and Cyprus. And so we are going to be expanding this program because the general feedback that I got was very, very positive. People really like the idea of going away for a few or several weeks to a destination. It gives you a chance to sort of get settled in. You can set your own pace, was some of the comments that we'd gotten back. Of course, you don't have to pack and unpack because our LiveAways are designed so you're 2 or 4 weeks in any given place. And let's face it, there's nothing better than being able to put all your clothes away in the hotel or the apartment and not have to constantly think about where the next destination is. Of course, part of the hallmarks of our LiveAways are the fact that you have a lot of flexibility, so you can set your own pace and decide whether you want to have a sleep-in day, or if you want to just hang out on the balcony and read a book, or if you want to go down to a local cafe and just do some people watching. But of course, we have a lot of things to choose from, and the way that they're designed allows you the flexibility to choose the kind of programs that you'd like to do and as much as you want to do. But what was noted by some of the people is all of those little spontaneous things. And this is what I find fun about travel, is it's fine to follow the itinerary and know that, as the old saying goes, it's Tuesday, it must be Paris. But to have that ability to just see what's going on in the local community, go out and catch a musical show or some special art exhibit or something like that was completely unanticipated, and yet often is the most memorable experiences that we have. And this is what our members felt about our trips in Madeira and Cyprus. The camaraderie was another point that came up. We travel in small groups. Sometimes we go with a bit of a larger group because, of course, if you go with more people, you have a better chance of connecting with people who sort of you like to hang out with. And so it was noted that we have a nice mix between couples and solo travelers, but that everybody kind of comes together and gels, and you sort of come away with that feeling like it was a nice family trip. And you spend a little more time with those folks over there, maybe a little less time with those, but the fact is that in the end of the day, we all have that sense of like-mindedness. And people also commented how much they like the food on our LiveAways, because particularly I go to great pains in curating the local experience, because the one thing, not just on our LiveAways, but on a lot of our trips, I like to avoid the classic tour group restaurants where they herd everybody in, and sort of we tend to try to suss out the more local places, the more family run if possible, that is a bit maybe off the main tourist trail. And those kind of experiences are something that's really positive. And as you'll note from what some of our members commented, there's usually more food than is even normal, but it's the generosity and the hospitality that we experience in these places that lends itself to leaving with quite a full stomach and often not needing dinner that day. So there's a lot of benefits to our LiveAways, and as I said, that's why we're going to be expanding them. In fact, this coming week on Tuesday, we will be launching our newest LiveAway destination, which is going to be Syracuse, Sicily, on the east coast, not far, sits in the shadow of Mount Etna. I was just there inspecting and checking out this lovely little town where we're going to be heading in March of next year. It will be followed by a second half of Sicily that will take place on the north coast. More on that later. I'm headed there in a few weeks' time to check out the optimal place for our Wheel and Anchor LiveAway, and it'll continue on. We're researching into the Amalfi Coast, where we hope to be spending in early April next year, as well as Puglia that will be on the agenda. And we're actually looking at all kinds of places, not just around the Mediterranean, but in other parts of Europe, because I think that the philosophy here doesn't always have to apply only in winter. but rather I think that people would enjoy the idea of LiveAways really at any time of the year. So if you have feedback on that, it's always welcome. I love to hear your comments and your views. And so stay tuned for the LiveAway webinar this coming Tuesday about Sicily. If you missed Japan, which was our experiential trip that's happening in May of next year, the recording of that webinar is in the blog below. And I'm back off to Europe this weekend, so I will catch up to you in our newsletter next week.